That means it's time for the Don Tony Show.
You've waited all week, and now it's finally here. Get Don Tony's perspective on current affairs in the world of pro wrestling and beyond.
And now, your host, the man, the legend, Don Tony.
Friday night. What's up, everyone? Don Tony is back once again. The Don Tony Show. AEW just started. We have Pac and Penta wearing a Joker outfit again. Notice no Alex Abrahantes. Notice 2 weeks in a row. Well, 8 days in a row. Take note of that. I don't think anybody's bringing that up because, you know, we already know about the controversy with Willie Urbina being fired. I think, obviously, he took the fall. What he said was inappropriate. Maybe not racist, but totally out of bounds and inappropriate. But I still can't get past that initial comment to Willie Urbina, Douchita. What does that mean? Douchita. I'm guilty of impersonating, making fun of people's accents in the past. I've done it for my own. I've done it for everybody out there. It's not racist. You're mocking people. It's still disrespectful. But take note that Alex Abrahantes, now look, for all we know, he'll do a run-in tonight. But nowhere to be found. All of a sudden. Take note of that. Nobody's talking about that. Shout out to everybody who is live. Obviously, our audience will be a lot lighter live for the simple reason that many of you out there who enjoy AEW Dynamite prefer to watch it on your television, complete focus. It's going to be interesting to see what the ratings are for this episode. The ratings, my God, it is all out of whack. I'm having a hard time. Kazarian is at ringside. Okay, Kazarian. He's beating up Nakazawa, and already we got 10 people out there. Young Bucks are out there now. They're all freaking out. They don't care about Nakazawa. Oh, my God. Already clusterfuck. Look, I printed out my notes today. It's a lot easier because I got the tablet going. I got the 3 screens going. People could blame it on the NBA last week. They could blame it on whatever they want. There's a couple of things I want to point out that no one else is good at. Number one, do you notice that you still have not been told Impact Wrestling's rating from last week? Do you realize that you were not told Impact Wrestling's rating from last night? Do you realize that some ratings for some shows seems to be available the next day with no problem, but others it is almost impossible to find? Take note, and I'm a subscriber of Dave Meltzer's newsletter, but take note of some cute shit that he did for this week's newsletter. He talks about last week's Impact, and he actually says that something like 48% of the viewers watched at least half the show, and he's got all these numbers, but he leaves out the overall rating. I thought it was even cuter. Last week, AEW did 526,000 viewers. Yeah, that is a low, pathetic number. I expected the number to be low because it was Memorial Day weekend. Yes, you did have the NBA on. And yes, 10 p.m. to midnight is not that fun for everyone out there. If you think because it was just a Friday and because the NBA was on is the reason why these ratings were so bad, when I get into the quarter-hour breakdown from last Friday, what you notice immediately is that throughout the whole night, the numbers kept going down and down. And down, and down. I don't think there was any triple overtime to make so few. People just decided to tune out as the night went along. Not only that, I thought this was so cute. Maybe Dave Meltzer has done this before, and I remain a huge supporter of Dave Meltzer. Couple little, cute little things. I let it go. But he actually wrote something talking about AEW's rating last week that I thought it was one of the cutest things that I have ever read talking about ratings. He actually said, and I quote, the total number that last Friday night, the total number who watched at least 1 minute of AEW Dynamite was 1,021,000. This guy's actually giving you the rating for 60 seconds of a 2-hour show. 1,021,000 people stopped on TNT and watched Dynamite for at least a minute. Seriously. I mean, how do you even write something like that? I mean, just admit the ratings sucked. Admit that the quarter hours were going down and down and down and down and down. And that's it. Do you all realize? I didn't even know this until tonight. Do you realize that AEW is not going to be on Wednesday again for at least 3 or 4 more weeks? Next Friday, they're on once again at 10 p.m. The next 2 Saturdays after that is Dynamite. So for the next 3 Wednesdays, no Dynamite airing. And I'm going to say something right now that I searched on social media. I put it in quotations to make sure I found the specific phrase. Not one person has said it yet. Do you know what airs on TBS between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. on Wednesday nights? For my friends that are live right now, and much love for sharing a little bit of your Friday night with me tonight, do you know what airs between 8 and 10 p.m. on Wednesday night on TBS? I brought it up before. Michael Gonzalez has it. The Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is not a bad show. I'm not knocking it. It's like a 5-hour block of Big Bang Theory. Explain to me why TNT or Turner, Time Warner, whatever it is, that they think putting Dynamite Friday night or Saturday night is better than just putting it on TBS for the next 4 weeks, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. You mean to tell me the Big Bang Theory is more important? Am I missing something over here? I mean, Big Bang Theory, it's reruns. Thank you, Benjamin. It's reruns. You got a piss-poor rating of 526,000 last week. Now, I personally think they got to do at least 700,000 tonight. If they do less than 700,000, this has got to be concerning, because one thing is for certain, everyone. If you're an AEW fan and you're a hardcore fan, you're watching Dynamite in some way, shape, or form. Yes, you could watch it on a replay, but when you're a hardcore fan, you want to see it first run live. You want to be surprised. You don't want to see spoilers. And if that rating goes low again, ask yourself, what is more important? Putting them on Friday night at 10 p.m. to midnight, and then after that on Saturday night? Or they have their primetime Wednesday night slot of 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., but it's on TBS. You go into TBS at the latest in January. I heard by the end of the year. Why is that not happening? The NBA playoffs are not airing on TBS. Right now, and I'm not knocking the match, the Young Bucks versus Pac and Penta is excellent. You know that these 4 guys create magic in the ring. Right now, this is no different than any other opening match that the Young Bucks have had in the past with Ray Phoenix and Penta, or Pac and Ray Phoenix. Now it's Pac and Penta. I will tell you, it's nice to see the live fans. It's nice to see decent number of fans, and it's elevated. If you saw Double or Nothing, the buy-in match of Serena Deeb versus Rio, they did it from the opposite camera side, and it was elevated. That's what they're doing tonight. So, yeah, I mean, almost everyone out there in the chat is agreeing with me. I don't understand on a major show like AEW that you decide for 4 or 5 weeks, Friday night late and Saturday night is better than TBS 8 to 10 for 4 or 5 weeks. The Big Bang Theory is that important? I'm baffled. I'm baffled with that. Pac just missed a dive off the top rope. Going back and forth with Matt Jackson. Penta with the Canadian Destroyer. Pac charges Nick Jackson, gets hit. Penta's just hanging out in the middle of the ring for no reason, waiting to take his own Canadian Destroyer. Pac just almost got dumped outside the ring. Nick Jackson, acrobatic, flippy, exchanging. Okay, I bet you Penta is going to climb the top rope and dive onto both of them. Watch. Just watch. Everyone that's watching me, you're going to see. Look, there we go, in stereo. Look, they're looking at each other. They looked at each other. One of the members of the Young Bucks hit a suplex on Pac, and Penta hit a suplex on the other Young Buck, and they looked at each other. These are foes. It's not like Penta and Pac both did a suplex. It's not like both Young Bucks did a suplex. Penta and one of the Young Bucks, they looked at each other, and then both did suplexes. Daniel says Big Bang is a better show. Maybe it is. I never got into Big Bang Theory. By the way, I don't know if you could hear it. I am losing my voice. I didn't realize it that if we do 2 hours today, then we would have done 19 hours of programming since last Sunday. That doesn't even count all of the editing and uploading and all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So between that and my regular office job, I'm starting to lose my voice. I definitely want to take some calls tonight. I want to try to get through 2 hours and at least do a little watch-along with Dynamite, and we'll talk about SmackDown as well. SmackDown, I got to be honest with you, I did not like it. You wasted half the show. Oh, man. Pac just hit the Falcon Arrow. I think Nick Jackson just broke up the 2 count. Look, there's no chance the Young Bucks are losing the titles tonight. I think we pretty much can guarantee that. Yeah, SmackDown. Oh, here comes Brandon Cutler with the spray stuff. He's going to kick out. He didn't kick out a spray. It's pretty lame, man. Did he spray him or did he hit him with the fucking camera? Yeah, this was a title match, one fall. Come on. AEW blows their load for TNT, which is, the right way to go. That's good business. I'm not knocking it. Look, this opening match was fun. We're at 10:14 p.m. I just love when they keep ringing the bell after all the double teaming after the match is over. There's clusterfucks every single week. What are you ringing the bell for? Like it's any different? Nobody wants to come out and make the save. Nobody. I was just going to say, where's Moxley Kingston? Eddie Kingston comes out. The Young Bucks run out of Dodge, as does Cutler. Yeah, Dayhawk, that acknowledge me stuff for Roman, it's getting a little bit played out, but that's how WWE rolls. You know that. I mean, you think back with Seth Rollins and all the phrases he used to do. I mean, you remember when he was feuding with Finn Balor, the Demon King, the Demon King, the Demon King, the Demon King. Take a shot every time Seth Rollins said that. You would have been blitzed beyond belief. The Demon King. Nauseating. Oh, we got a middle finger from one of the Young Bucks. Where's Ray? Mysterio or Phoenix? We don't know where Phoenix is. Where is the Dark Order? That's a good question. So look, we're about to go to a commercial break. Would you like to hear the quarter-hour ratings from last week's AEW? And again, we expected the number to be pretty low. I don't think we expected it to be this low. But I think what's more important is how the viewership treated that night. So I have it right here for all of you. We'll do that during the commercial break. AEW, May 28th, hour number 1, 586,000 viewers. Hour number 2, a horrible 466,000 viewers for a composite of 526,000. By the way, the next matchup, Lee Johnson and Cody versus who dat? I almost said QT Marshall. Who dat and Anthony Ogogo. I think Ogogo needs to get the win tonight. I think everybody will agree. Anyway, AEW last week, hour 1, 586, hour 2, 466 for a composite of 526. Quarter 1, Darby Allin versus Cesar Bononi. And then that after-match brawl with Sting, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, Darby Allin, the Dark Order coming out. That clusterfuck opened up at 638,000. Quarter 2, Cody and Anthony Ogogo, that horrendous weigh-in with Paul White having a problem with the scales. And then you had Christian Cage backstage brawling with Powerhouse Hobbs. That quarter dropped 15,000 viewers to 623,000. What you will notice throughout this whole night, how many times I say down, take a shot. Quarter 3, Hangman Page versus Joey Janela. And then the little skirmish with Hangman Page and Brian Cage and Team Taz. Remember Green Hook hitting the ring? That quarter hour dropped another 58,000 viewers to 565,000. Quarter number 4, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston cutting a promo for Double or Nothing. And then you had that segment with the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, Pac, Kenny Omega, where Orange Cassidy tears up. You know, he's going to wrestle at the pay-per-view. That quarter hour, believe it or not, think about this. Moxley, Kingston, Pac, Kenny Omega, Orange Cassidy. That quarter hour dropped 47,000 viewers to 518,000, 518. Quarter 5, Jade Cargill versus Kylan King and Miedo destroying Dante Martin to hype up Double or Nothing. The little confrontation with him and Lance Archer after. That quarter hour dropped 22,000 viewers to 496,000. Quarter 6, the ending of that little skirmish with Lance Archer and Miedo. You had a Hikaru Shida celebration 1 year as champion, and then Britt Baker basically interrupting it. That quarter hour dropped 19,000 viewers to 477,000. Quarter number 7, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky versus Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. The little brawl that happened afterwards. That quarter hour dropped 400 to 457,000, a drop of 20,000 viewers. In the main event, the final quarter hour, the celebration of the Inner Circle, and the little brawl that ensued afterwards, that final quarter hour dropped 25,000 viewers to 430,000. Every quarter hour dropped. Every quarter hour dropped. You know what that told me? That the fans just didn't want to stay up to midnight and watch this show. Nothing kept them glued. Channel surfing. You know what's funny? Dave Meltzer says that 1,021,000 watched at least 1 minute of Dynamite. He doesn't tell you how many people changed the channel maybe to the basketball and watched that for at least a minute between 8 and 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. and midnight. Okay, we have Tony Schiavone in the ring hyping up AEW Rampage. Remember, Rampage, I think, is going to be in this time slot. So this 10 p.m. to midnight will be Rampage. So get used to 10 p.m. AEW Friday night. That could be, Mark Henry's going to hit the ring, by the way. That could be the reason why they're insisting on having this air on Friday night. But what doesn't make sense is the 2 Saturday nights. You're not having Rampage air on Saturday nights. And we just came out of Double or Nothing. You want to maximize your viewers as much as possible. Why not go to TBS 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. for this week and the next 3 weeks? You'll get more people to tune in. Anyway, Mark Henry is in the ring. Obviously, I can't play the audio, but I will tell you briefly of what he's saying. So, for my audio only, I'm sorry for a little bit of silence. Mark Henry talking about how much he loves this business. AEW is not broken. He plugs Busted Open. He's going to turn the screws a little bit. It's a nice crowd reaction. Tony Schiavone's going to ask a question everybody wants to know. Are you going to get back in the ring again? Crowd on their feet. I love it. All these social media goofs that have to rip every little good thing that other people like. They have to put it down. Mark Henry says he's got a lot left in the tank. Who's going to come out and confront Mark Henry? Somebody's got to come out, right? Oh, Vicky Guerrero. Could see that a mile away. I didn't think Vicky, but she's doing the excuse me. Wearing a nice long gray dress. Mark, Tony, you're excused. Mark is like, huh? Okay, Mark is leaving the ring. Okay, Vicky's now cutting a promo. She's going to introduce us to someone. Third generation wrestler. She said, excuse me, damn it. Please welcome. Andrade. Andrade? Oh, there he is. Oh, some of the planted fans in the special boxes going. It's funny that you see those same people in the little box and they have these unbelievable, like they're losing their shit right now. The same people that ripped Andrade saying that he sucks on Raw, now they're losing their lunch. She's giving him the mic. Okay. Andrade says he used to say he was the face of Latinos. But today, he'll be the new face of All Elite Wrestling. Crowd loving it. Loud AEW chants right now. Yeah, Vicky demanding a little bit of applause. Did you see some reckless website saying that Charlotte might be pregnant? Even if she is. I mean, this is how desperate people need hits. How's about verifying something as personal like that first? Embarrassing. So Andrade is now a member of AEW. I like it. I like it. You know, look, spare me with the, AEW signing all of the WWE cast-offs. You know, I'm an AEW fan. I want to see the product grow. if Andrade ends up replacing maybe somebody who's been on AEW who seems to botch a lot and does a lot of flippy stuff that just looks awful on TV, I'm fine with that. You know, I like to pay attention to people out there who actually give AEW a chance. I brought up something yesterday, and I'm trying not to have any silence here. We're at commercial right now. But I brought up something yesterday that I really think is one of the biggest problems about wrestling today, and even these podcasters and websites that, you know, they'll just bash and bash and bash, and then they'll say that wrestling sucks and this and that, and they don't give any other brand a chance. I'm sorry for repeating what I said yesterday, but Jeff Hardy and Mustafa Ali tore it up on Main Event this week. Tore it up. I watched the match today, and it was phenomenal. I mean, how Jeff Hardy's been portrayed on Raw and even SmackDown to an extent. You saw what he did on Main Event. It was beautiful. Wasn't, you know, perfect, but it was awesome. And I saw so many people in the last 24 hours or so saying over and over again, why isn't this on Raw? Why is it on Main Event? Why is it not on Raw? Why does it matter? Why is your viewing preference so restrictive to Monday nights from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.? If it's on Main Event, watch it on Main Event. I don't understand these people. If you actually just take a step back and think about that for a minute, that doesn't make any sense. The match is there. How's about just saying, wow, they fucking tore it up? They tore it up. That's it. Why does it have to be on Raw? Most of the people that complain online are not fans of AEW. So they're just yelling and making noise because they want to be included in on the conversation. That's it. It's a shame, man. But Andrade is in. I don't know if I want Vicky to be his manager, you know, but we'll see. We'll see who he feuds with. We know what he can do. So we'll just now have to see. Like I said, you know, the one problem with AEW, though, is you got Kenny Omega, you have the Young Bucks, and I'm not trying to demean the TNT title, but you have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Does it feel like anybody is going to break through and leapfrog any of them? Absolutely not. So it feels like, you know, the usual suspects that work behind the scenes are all the way up here, and they're trying to make you think that everybody else is all the way up there as well. But they're not. They're not. Daniel San says AEW is really must see that they are signing huge stars and WWE is sinking. No, they're capitalizing, man. Andrade is a special kind of talent. You know, he just, you know, didn't work out with WWE. So he's got, look, sometimes you don't just want a talented wrestler. You want a talented wrestler with a chip on your shoulder. You got a chip on your shoulder? That's when you turn it up to 110%, 120%. You insult someone or you make someone, that is a plus. So what's better than getting Andrade? Getting Andrade with a little chip on his shoulder. That guy is going to pull moves out that we probably haven't seen him do in 10 years. Simply so everybody out there could say, WWE, how the fuck did you screw that up? I think Aleister Black has to go to AEW. I really do. Cody Rhodes wearing a shirt paying tribute to Pride Month. Plugging transequality.org, I believe it is. I know various wrestlers are have the Pride colors for this month. Nice looking shirt. Nice. Definitely a worthy charity. Steven thinks Cody should needs to become a champion. Yeah, I mean, I hear both sides of that. I can't really argue with that. I think they blew it last Sunday with Ogogo. Ogogo's got to get the win back tonight. I mean, they're focusing like he's only had 3 matches, but still. You had Lance Archer run into the Cody wall. You can't have Ogogo run into the Cody wall. Of course, Lance Archer's ability and Ogogo's ability, you can't compare the two. Archer is up here, Ogogo is just starting. But you can't keep having people run into the Cody wall. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'm telling you, I think by the end of 2021, Anthony Ogogo, I think, will be a babyface. I really believe that. I think he'll break away from who that. I think before you know it, you're going to hear crowds chanting for Ogogo too. Lee Johnson and QT Marshall in the ring right now. You know what's funny about QT Marshall with his facial reactions and everything? He acts like he thinks he's a major superstar, and what he does, it feels so independent, like indie wrestling. It's like stuff you would see on an indie show. It doesn't feel big. All right. Now, why did QT Marshall kind of insinuate a hair pull with Lee Johnson? And why is Lee Johnson holding the back of his head? What kind of hair did he grow? I think you probably have more pubic hair than hair on your head. What's this guy holding? Cody tagged in. My God, you see the goof right behind Cody with the camera, with the phone? He's like this. Ogogo in a nice, look like a hip toss. Now, why wouldn't Ogogo just punch him? Why the forearm shot? Just punch him. That's it. Tag to QT Marshall. Oh, go figure. QT does the abdominal punch. But Cody regains. Just flatten QT Marshall face down on the mat. And Cody runs for the quick tag. Oh, my God. Lee Johnson. Okay, that was nice. Nice neck breaker. Oh. Yeah, beat your chest. Beat your chest. Okay. Yeah, you got to grab him in the neck, and you got to turn him all the way upside down. Yeah, we can see that a mile away. And then you got to climb back in the ring, and then you got to run on the opposite side of the rope, and you got to dive onto QT Marshall because he's waiting for you. And then, yeah, there you go. Ogogo with a nice kick to the face, though. Ogogo needs to get this win tonight, man. Twix, no shit, it's not real. Don't play that shit with me. I'm doing play-by-play stuff. Okay, according to Twix, this is what we're going to do, everyone. This is according to Twix's rules tonight. Ready? Ready? QT Marshall just rolled Lee Johnson back in the ring. He puts Lee Johnson into his own corner. QT Marshall with a chop. QT Marshall with a punch. But it really didn't connect because this is entertainment. Ogogo with a kick to the midsection. But it didn't really connect because it's entertainment. Ogogo with a punch in the face. You know, this is the Twix formula. Punch to the face. Oh, he's got his foot on his neck and Lee Johnson is writhing in pain. But he's really not squeezing because this is pro wrestling. Ogogo with a forearm. Wow, Lee Johnson looks all discombobulated. You know, maybe he's dizzy from just, selling the fake punches. Oh, man. Seriously, don't, Twix is good people, but don't play that with me. Seriously. You pissed me off Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? No, it was Tuesday. And I'm saying that joking around. So we're at a little commercial break right now. SmackDown tonight. I didn't like the show. I did not like the show. I mean, it opened up with the show. I think the only thing I liked about the whole night was when Roman Reigns was talking to Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns called him Jimmy. And Jey says to Roman, he says, I'm not Jimmy, I'm Jey. And Roman's like, the way it's going tonight, does it matter? I mean, whoever came up with that was wonderful. But for 2 hours, man, you know, you could summarize SmackDown literally in 5 minutes. You had the Usos take on the Mysterios to open up SmackDown tonight. Now, you know how WWE is. When they have a huge main event, they hype it up all night long. So the minute you realize it's opening the show, you know some bullshit is going to happen. And the Usos had an unbelievable match with the Mysterios. And look, we're going to go back to it and talk a little bit more in detail, but I'm telling you the reason why I didn't like tonight. The Usos and the Mysterios are going at it for about 15, 20 minutes. Excellent match, but it's opening up SmackDown, so you know there's going to be some type of a bullshit finish. And what ends up happening is Dominik Mysterio hits the 619 on Jimmy Uso. And then he goes, and it did look a little bit botched also. I think Dominik was supposed to do the fruit roll-up. And Jimmy, like, rolled over, but if you could look, like, somebody didn't grab onto each other because for a split second it looked kind of messy. And Dominik does the fruit roll-up to Jimmy Uso, and the referee is counting slow. And right before 3, Jimmy Uso raises his arm up, clear as day, and you could kind of see, like, the referee is looking at him, but still counts to 3. So an intentional ref botch is the reason why Rey and Dominik win. So you realize we just went through 25 minutes when you count the opening promo just to have a intentional bullshit ref botch. Aaron, we're back from commercial. Aaron is asking, does Ogogo have a tramp stamp? I don't know. I have not seen one. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how to answer that. Daniel-san, much love, my friend. I know I shouted you out earlier. You know, if WWE is going to trim payroll, whether it's budget cuts or trying to tighten up their company to make it look more attractive to NBC Universal or someone else, why would you not sign someone like Andrade? Why would you not sign maybe a veteran that could help mentor the stars of tomorrow? You know, most of the people that bitch about some of the AEW signings are not AEW fans. They're not. Because at least with Sting, we took a wait-and-see approach. Paul White, people immediately thought he was going to wrestle for the heavyweight title, like, right away. And the guy is not wrestling at all right now. So they're helping. They're helping. This is a brand-new company. It's only a couple of years old. Figure 4 attempt right now, Cody with QT Marshall. QT Marshall thinks that he is Terry Funk right now, and Cody thinks that he's Ric Flair. Why isn't Ogogo breaking this up? Ogogo, punch him in the face, damn it. Oh, there we go. Splash, but that'll do. That'll do. Nice frog splash, by the way. You know, you look at Ogogo's individual moves, he's got some pretty impressive arsenal. Just needs to be able to tell a story in the ring. On Anderson outside the ring. Does he still have that goofy clipboard? I'm trying to see if he has the goofy clipboard. QT at the Diamond Cutter, but this is 2021, so the Diamond Cutter probably only gets 1.5 count. Oh, that just looked... Don't they call him Shoddy? That was kind of shoddy, Shoddy. Yeah, Shoddy, you were a little bit too late, Shoddy. Shoddy is Shoddy. Ogogo, punch him in the fucking face already. Well, not really punch him in the face, according to Twix. Oh, he just tried to punch him in the face. Oh, it looked like the Cactus Clothesline. Who dat? Is somebody going to take something out of their tights? If somebody takes something out of their tights, I'm going to pop. Because this is live and I'm just guessing right now. They're exchanging punches. Are we going to get the crowd going, boo? Yay! Aaron Solo. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Oh, Ogogo with the punch to the face. That's it. Why is the referee letting Ogogo just stand there watching who that pin him? Well, at least Ogogo got his win back. It's a win for Anthony Ogogo. Aaron Solo. Nice punch, though. Watch. Boom! Cody sold it good. Boom! But who that gets the pin? So, you have an intentional referee botch to waste 20 minutes. And when over the years do we have a rematch right as Ray and Dominik about to leave and walk to their car? By the way, why the fuck were they still wearing their wrestling boots? Who that with a promo? I told you all I could do it. Tony Schiavone, you were never believe it. Rogaine was never a believer in you. Who that? Who that? Your head looks like my crotch when I was like 12 years old. There's just like hints of like hair, but I mean, that's like when you first plant like seeds in like April and you just see like a little fuzz, but it's missing in patches. It looks like you just started to get like growth in your yard, but like a ferret or a rabbit like ate part of the patch. That's what the back of his hair looks like. But Ogogo looks like $1 million, man. Ogogo's, I'm telling you, you watch. Okay. So anyway, you have Ray and Dominik about to leave the building. They still got their boots on. And because Roman Reigns wants things to be made right tonight. And basically what that was alluding to is a rematch because the referee screw up a rematch. Now, you think about Bobby Lashley getting involved in Drew McIntyre versus Kofi, and that gets milked for an extra week. You got other things. You got NXT stuff. What was it? It was Santos Escobar and, who is that new wrestler? Who's the new wrestler in NXT that was supposed to take on Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight title not too long ago? I'll give major props for the person who remembers that. And Santos Escobar, they attacked him before the match. Wasn't Broadway. What the hell's the guy's name? So William Regal postpones it another week. So today, no, Ray, Dominik, we saw the footage. The referee screwed up. You got to wrestle again tonight. Kurt Stallion. Chris, props to you, my friend. Kurt Stallion. It's always prolonged for a week or two, but no, tonight, Ray, Dominik, no. You got to come back. You got your boots on. You still got to wrestle, so we get the rematch again. They're showing highlights of the Inner Circle beating the Pinnacle. Jericho is coming out. Crowd eating it up. They obviously made the right decision not splitting up the Inner Circle. It's like, look, I'm not comparing the factions and the historic level. Please, do not take it the wrong way. But when I think back to the NWO in 1996, obviously they were heels for quite a long time. But the NWO was the hottest group in WCW. And you do not break them up. Unless, like I said, there's contract issues or a suspension needs to be made or something is wrong and you have to do something that's different. But the Inner Circle is the biggest, most popular group in AEW right now, and you're only now starting to go back to higher capacity with fans. You do not split that up. You want those fans to yell at the top of their lungs. There's people online that still make you think that these fans are chanting Judas simply because they have to or they just want to feel fit in. They're having a good time, man. They're having a great time. MJF has not been buried. MJF has a huge career ahead of him. And when he loses, it's not technically clean if you think about it. SoFly says the Inner Circle are drawing some of the lowest ratings of all time. I disagree. I'm trying to find a rating. You can't bring up last week. Last year, they had a lot of weeks that was horrendous. We talked about it every week. I mean, that was because AEW was trying to hotshot, disarray. Every week it was a different direction. And fans were just getting a little sick of it. That's not the fault of the Inner Circle. That's the writing. But look, they're on a momentum right now. They're on a high. The crowd loves it. That's the formula you want. You want the fans into them. Sting will not get a title run. Will not get a world title run? No. Sting will not get a world title run. I think the fans actually would probably get a kick out of a storyline with him and Kenny Omega, but I don't see that. They're doing good with Sting right now. They have, if you notice, they have cut back on Sting beating up 7 people at the same time. They've actually pulled back on that a lot. Yeah, it's now 2 people, Paige and Sky, but it's a little bit more realistic now. Suspension of disbelief. You don't have to mess with that. Guevara is cutting a promo right now. He's on such a high right now. Talking about the 630 that he did on Shawn Spears. He's talking about how he used to do the 630 off his mom's roof in the backyard. He saw the Foley documentary. I know I'm chewing on ice. It's really hot in here. My throat's a little scratchy tonight. Hopefully you don't hear the ice cracking. Sammy's thanking his teammates. They're all hugging in the ring. Crowd loving it. Now Santana's cutting a promo. What did they accomplish truly? They talk about he still got to walk past the pinnacle in the hallways. What did they truly accomplish? Talking about how the pinnacle talk about how they spend so much money in their suits and their limos. I like the vest that they're wearing. It's actually pretty cool. I like it. The skull, middle finger, the skeleton hand. Talking about the finish of last week's Dynamite being pile driven through the tables. They tried to take money out of their hands and food out of their families' mouths, and Santana says that doesn't settle with him. Now Hager's on the mic. They tried to end us. Hager always looks like he had a couple of beers, right? Hager, you got to throw a middle finger, man. Stick that left middle finger up. Come on. Lift it. Lift it. Let's see that middle finger. Always does it. He gets angry, and then he lifts up that middle finger. Come on. 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. Here it comes. He's still in the middle of sentence. Oh, he challenged MMA cage fight. Hager's actually doing pretty good. You can't complain about him. Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah. I have a Jericho shirt on. Jericho says it's not over. Shawn Spears pissed him off. He's pissed off at Wardlow. Everybody's pissing Jericho off right now. Talks about MJF, that self-righteous, pretentious prick. A lot of unfinished business between Guevara and MJF. You know Guevara and MJF have to have a feud. Jericho talking about when he was pushed off the cage of blood and guts. Jericho's not been the same since. Thinks about it every day. Benjamin, you're so right. I'll tell that story in a second. Jericho says he must settle the score. So what, we have another match, MJF and Jericho? He knows he beat the hell out of MJF. It's not enough. So this is probably going to lead to a match. Oh, yeah, Santana's cut promos in Northeast. I've seen him wrestle over the years. Santana talks pretty good. He says, Jericho says this will never be over between him and MJF. MJF calls him the GOAT. Jericho believes this. What I think of MJF, I am as good as he thinks I am. Jericho is concerned about building AEW to the greatest company, wrestling company. He must. He will. He needs. And he is going to beat MJF. So they all could have a match. He is going to beat MJF. Inner Circle never forgives. And they sure as hell never forgets. That's it. Promo over. Excellent as always. Cannot criticize these promos. I mean, AEW knows these are fire and the crowd loves it. That's all you need. That's all you need. There's the middle fingers. This shirt has nothing to do with the story, but this looks like an old school shirt. A very long time ago, when I used to take calls back, it's got to be like 2006, 2007, we had a guy call in, and he was talking about, we were talking about Jericho. And, Jericho, I've always, one of my favorites. And, I probably, no joke, I probably have more, other than maybe Terry Funk, I have more Jericho shirts in my collection, in my history. Terry Funk is probably number one. Jericho's got to be number two. My favorite shirt of all time that's not a Terry Funk shirt was the Jerichoholics shirt that WCW put out. Remember the multicolored silhouettes, Jerichoholics? You can probably find it on eBay still once in a while. I know that there's bootlegs that linger. But this guy got into a conversation about Jericho, and he was bringing up on how he used to see him wrestle in the 80s and this and that. And, I thought, he kind of maybe just slipped up the decade. And I was like, oh, you mean the 90s? And he's like, no. Back in the 80s, before he went to WCW and ECW and this and that, I used to see him all the time when he was up and coming in the 80s. And we decided to have some fun with him, and we're like, who did he face? I don't remember the names that this guy said, but Jericho wasn't even in wrestling at the time. This guy was talking about 1986, 1987. It was pretty funny, man. I mean, Benjamin, it's pretty amazing that 14, 15 years later, you still remember that guy that called in. I don't laugh at people who call in that make mistakes. And some people, I know, even 2 days ago or Wednesday, somebody called in, and I know some people were chuckling a little bit at that, and I think that's wrong, because some people that call in, they don't do shows, so they don't get a mouthpiece all that much, and sometimes they have something they want to say, and it means so much to them that sometimes you just get caught up in the moment or caught up in the conversation, and it may not sound perfect, but trust me, when I used to do my hotlines in the late 90s, I sounded just like that. And so I don't ever mock anybody who calls in. If somebody intentionally is trying to be a little funny, of course, but, somebody calling in, I'm just a regular person, but, they take it very seriously. So, but yeah, that guy though was a little bit out there, man. I mean, insisting to me that he saw Jericho wrestling in the 80s. So, but anyway, should we quickly get into the NXT? Let's see who's coming out. It just came back from commercial. Let's see who's coming out. All right, we're watching highlights of Double or Nothing. Okay, right now this guy does not cut a very good promo. Chuck Taylor. He's got like the AJ Styles haircut from like 15 years ago. I mean, honestly, I'm not trying to say this to be a jerk. I think Chuck Taylor cuts the worst promo of anybody who is considered like a legitimate, almost a veteran talent. You actually listen to him closely. I think Chuck Taylor, for the amount of years he's put into wrestling, he's got the worst mic skills of anybody. Just horrendous. Kenny Omega with Don Callis. They're looking at video footage of the match. Here's Nakazawa. Oh, he looks awfully good. I thought he got beat up before. Don Callis cutting the promo right now. Harris, I do have the audio of that Jericho caller. I have all the old archives. I mean, I don't even know what episode, and believe me, the last thing I really want to do is sit through and listen to DTKC episodes. I mean, not for like nostalgia or anything like that. It's like there's so many hours in a day and so much going on, and that would be pretty brutal to listen through that just to try to find a caller. So, yeah. Don Callis talking about the dark side of AEW. Oh, yeah, the Jungle Boy match. That has been postponed to the 26th of June, the Saturday night Dynamite. And a lot of people don't know why Tony Khan made the switch. I think it's simple. I think they expect to have a bigger rating on a Saturday night than a Friday night. So they want to prolong the match. It was supposed to take place next week. Now it's going to take place on the 26th of June. They're mocking Jungle Boy's theme in the back. Don Callis is like, oh. What's with the arm? Bushwhackers? Oh, yeah. So what are we getting tonight? Jungle Boy and Christian versus Private Party. I told you, didn't I tell you a couple of months ago this is going to be the new Fandango? All right, let's get into the NXT quarter-hour ratings from last week. Let me pull them up. This was the rematch, Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. Now, the quarter-hour ratings, they may be postponed a week from now on for the simple reason that obviously everybody and their mother revealed that they were only copying off of Showbuzz Daily. They really had no connections in anyone in cable TV. I reached out to Nielsen 3 times, as I talked about yesterday, asking Nielsen to reestablish my account. I have not heard back from them even once. So we'll see what happens. You know, if I could get my Nielsen account back, then I will have all the ratings for you every single week. So they may be postponed a week. You know, right now, in Impact Wrestling, man, they are hiding that shit under the rug. I mean, you know what's the funny thing about it? And I invite all of you to go on Twitter and see what I'm talking about. Without naming any specific names, Alvarez, without naming anybody specifically, Meltzer, without naming anybody specifically, Thurston, look at all the fans. Just go on Twitter and type in Impact Wrestling rating in quotations. Hit search and then click latest. And look at all the people that keep asking, those 3 guys especially, what's up with the Impact rating? And they don't even respond. They'll respond to every other tweet. But the Impact rating, they're all ignoring it on purpose. Now, I was the one that revealed the last 2 ratings for Impact. They never revealed it. I think the Torch might have revealed one of the weeks a couple of days later. But these guys, because of their, you know, favoritism to AEW and the embarrassment that Kenny Omega is the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion and these ratings are in the territory it's in, you know, now they're using the shield of Showbuzz Daily being down as to why they're not putting the number up. They're just ignoring people. So anyway, Private Party's coming out. There ain't no way that Jungle Boy and Christian are losing tonight unless Kenny Omega comes out and causes some type of skirmish. I don't even know if that's going to happen. So anyway, let's get into the quarter-hour ratings for NXT. These are not as controversial as AEW's, but you could see some nights pitting, valleys, hills and valleys with these numbers. Anyway, NXT last week. Hour 1, 689. Hour 2, 708. For a composite of 698. Opening quarter, which was that vignette to hype up Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross 2, which was main evented that night. And in the first half of Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, that opening quarter did 693,000 viewers. Quarter 2, the second half of that women's tag team match, that second quarter increased 11,000 viewers to 704,000. Quarter 3, Bobby Fish versus Pete Dunne, that 10,000 viewer increase they saw in quarter 2, they lost it for quarter 3. Dropped back down to 694. Not a big deal. Quarter 4 was that in-ring segment of Hit Row, each one of them individually cutting a promo. And I think Isaiah Swerve Scott actually talking about the heavyweight championship picture, which he's not going to be part of anytime soon. And Mercedes Martinez versus Zayda Ramir. And in the after the match where Mercedes saw the ink on her hand, that quarter hour dropped 29,000 viewers to 665,000. Quarter 5, Cameron Grimes, Ted DiBiase, and LA Knight, their little segment. And then Indy Hartwell in the back trying to find Dexter Loomis. That quarter hour increased 23,000 viewers to 688,000. Quarter number 6, Frankie Monet's in-ring debut in NXT versus Cora Jade. The Grizzled Young Veterans interview. Remember, soon. And the Imperium video, which was kind of weird because you had the week before where Killian Dane beat Alexander Wolf, and then Wolf was fired, and then Imperium's cutting a promo. Well, he was gone. That quarter hour increased 7,000 viewers to 695,000. Quarter 7, which was Bronson Reed cutting his promo in the ring, confronted by Legado del Fantasma and Santos Escobar saying he wants his title. And the intros for Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. that quarter hour increased. Actually, I'm sorry, it decreased 6,000 viewers to 689. And the main event, Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor for the championship, that final quarter increased 68,000 viewers to 757,000. Overall, not a bad number for the main event compared to the overall number for the night, but still I think a lot of people were very surprised that NXT was going to have that low of a rating. So, Private Party, I don't know how I feel with them just wearing like dress shirts and khaki like slacks with sneakers. I mean, you know what? It's actually not that bad. If they gimmick Private Party, going to parties, they're dressed like they're going to go out to party. You know, if it's comfortable for them, I guess. Yeah, the Grizzled Young Veterans. Soon to be recognized as the lowest main eventers in the history of NXT. Soon. Fuck you. Fuck you. Soon. One of them looks like a rejected member from the Dark Order, and the other one looks like he's dressed as Attitude Era Shawn Michaels for Halloween. Seriously, all he's got to do is put a bulge inside his boxer shorts and just take his pants off and go in the ring and be like this. With the bulge, that's what they look like. One of them, I'm telling you, go look at the Grizzled Young Veterans again. Soon. One of them looks like they belongs in the Dark Order. He's like the stuntman for John Silver. And then, soon. Crowd is into this match. Christian, though, he's on the top rope, teasing he's going to do the 10 punches to Mark Quinn. And he's looking around. He's like, where's the double team to stop me? Yeah, I don't know, the match is a little too slow for my standards. But I think, obviously, Christian and Jungle Boy will come out on top on this one. So, again, let me just remind everyone that next Friday, Dynamite is going to air once again in this time slot. So, the format that I've been doing the last 2 weeks, we will do it again next week. The 19th of June, which is a Saturday, Dynamite will air on the 19th and then on the 26th, which means the following week, they should be back in the Wednesday time slot. I tell you, it's interesting how people are not making that big of a buzz that Dynamite is not airing on Wednesday for 5 weeks. 5 weeks. It's a pretty big deal. And trust me, I know there's a lot of people out there that have no idea that Dynamite is not going to air on Wednesday for the next 3 weeks. Yeah. It's going to be for 3 more weeks, one fall. I didn't even know it was going to be for 3 weeks. It was once I saw that Tony Khan switched the Jungle Boy Omega match to the 26th. I was like, oh, okay. I get you. Because, look, there was that one Dynamite that did air on a Saturday. I think it was Private Party versus FTR. Might have been the opening match from that day. And I remember it got a pretty damn good rating. It was a Saturday Dynamite, and I remember because I was at the parents' house, and it was a Saturday, and when the rating came in, I was like, wow, that's actually pretty damn impressive. So AEW is very confident they're going to get a much better number on a Saturday compared to a Friday. So, yeah, Benjamin, a lot of preemptions, and I'm sorry, I'm going to stick with what I said. Why is the Big Bang Theory more important than putting Dynamite on primetime the next 4 or 5 weeks? So, anyway. I know we're a little casual tonight. It's been a long week. Like I said, between last Sunday and tonight, 19 hours of shows. I can't even fathom how we were able to put that all together. And trust me, I appreciate each and every one of you out there that tunes in, whether it's live on the archive, and I know I'm asking an awful lot to have you tune in for this many hours because I know you all have, other shows that you enjoy as well, hobbies, you have your own personal lives, relationships, work, school, whatever it is. So, I love doing it. But, there's an obvious we need to tighten the ship a little bit. So next week, let's try it out and see how we do in tightening up a little bit. If we could really tighten things up, then I might come up here every day, even if it's just for an hour. If there's stuff to talk about, only if there's stuff to talk about. But yeah, this was a very long week. This match has been methodically slow. I mean, extremely slow. I wouldn't call it gaga, but, Christian is laid out in the center of the ring, and Isaiah Cassidy is just, keeps putting his foot in Christian's throat. They're like, what is this? They're like picking him up like very, very slowly. Yeah, so Christian could get the upper hand. Mark Quinn is actually like looking at him like, are you going to hit me or not? Oh, man. Thank you, Bong Style, for the kind words. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I give so much appreciation to shows like Wrestling Days and others that do live watch-alongs. These are not easy. I know he's got it set up where this giant chat room is on the screen during the show, and there'll be big gaps, where he doesn't say anything, and he's just looking at his TV, and then all of a sudden a big burst of energy. I enjoy watching his stuff. I try not to copy anybody's style, but I give that guy a hell of a lot of credit, for what he does. And this is technically my third watch-along ever. All right, Jungle Boy with the hot tag. This match just seems it's like a step off. It is very, very slow. Jungle Boy, even though he's got the hot tag and he's going at it right now and he's exchanging blows with Isaiah Cassidy right now. Mark Quinn, excuse me, not Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn. He just nailed like a JBL clothesline, Jungle Boy. And Mark Quinn just like flipped over. Not a bad episode so far. Brainbuster for a 2 count. Aubrey Edwards is the referee, by the way. Matt Hardy is outside the ring. Jungle Boy with a drop kick to Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy. Yeah, nice looking DDT, a little bit too much selling. Mark Quinn kicked out at 2. Mark Quinn trying to grab Matt Hardy's hand. Matt Hardy, for some reason, thinks he's in WWE, that he can't interfere. You could see like Christian has got to take an extra second or two for the timing. Oh, he dove outside the ring and nobody home. Nobody home. The water was taken out of the pool. Jungle Boy almost pinned. 2 count. They ain't losing tonight. Look, AEW is a little bit more predictable with their results. People realize it. You're having these fans go home screaming at the top of their lungs, singing this song again. Christian and Jungle Boy are going to be with their hands raised in the ring. Oh, God. What a botched. I don't know. They were attempting the gin and juice, and Jungle Boy, I guess, was going to try to flip him over. He's very lucky. Yeah, there you go. The tap out. There's the tap out. Jungle Boy, he's very lucky that Jungle Boy did not just drop him on his neck. That just looked like the mess. There you go. Jungle Boy and Christian in the ring, raising their arms, and all the fans, oh, or we got to do it the Don Callis way. Oh. See, I can't buy into Jungle Boy being AEW World Heavyweight Champion, but I have no problem with them going this. It doesn't have to be a serious, legitimate contender every time. I think the match will be great, and I think Jungle Boy will learn. Look, you think about FTR. Jungle Boy to this day gives a lot of credit to FTR. So, and if you remember that match especially, Jurassic Express versus FTR, I mean, FTR made him look like $1 million that day. And Jungle Boy acknowledged him for that. Kenny Omega has the potential of doing the same for Jungle Boy. You will hear after this match, if it goes the way a lot of people think, even though Kenny Omega will retain, you will hear and see Jungle Boy in interviews praising the shit out of Kenny Omega for the experience and just what he learns. You could learn a lot from even one match. So, Roger Rubio, what's up, my friend? Thank you. Thank you, my friend. I definitely will, without a doubt, will be having some coffee tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have to go to the parents' house because my brother is having a party for my niece. She graduated from college 2 weeks ago. I posted a little video clip on Twitter. We were in my father's garage watching the ceremony. Because of COVID, we couldn't go in person. So tomorrow they're having a big party. So my day's going to be so hectic. So my plan is, me and my better half, we're going to go out for brunch. Then I got to pick up my aunt because she doesn't know how to drive. And unfortunately, she lost her husband to cancer a couple of years ago. And my cousin died in a very bad motorcycle accident, which I know a lot of you know already. He used to be in Hell's Angels, and he died in an auto accident many years ago. So my aunt is alone, and she wanted to go, and she don't drive. And I know some of you can say, yeah, she could take a cab. It would cost her $50 each way. So we're going to go for brunch, pick her up, go to the party, and then take her home. Hopefully we'll get some nice weather. So now we're getting Sting and Darby Allin, I believe. Yes, Sting and Darby Allin are hitting the ring now. A lot of promos tonight. Remember, Britt Baker still has to do her celebration. I hope they do not close out Dynamite with Britt Baker. I'm not saying that Britt Baker is not one of the faces of AEW, but they got to be very careful how they tread water here. She's had an excellent year. She's improved substantially, but it's not all together yet. And if they really do that, I mean, they could be setting themselves up for some letdown in the near future. So, but thank you, Roger, again. Much love, my friend. Much love. I appreciate that. So we got Sting and Darby Allin in the ring right now. Crowd is enjoying it. Big shout out to La Nostra Famiglia. I announced the winners of the predictions contest yesterday. I put the thread up this morning. Congratulations to Kevon Lewis, who won the whole damn thing. James Young and Nero Fay came in second. So I will be hooking them up with their prizes domani, tomorrow morning. Sting's cutting a promo. I have had so many incredible experiences in wrestling. But last Sunday, at Double or Nothing, last week will be a night that he will never, ever, ever forget. Crowd is popping big time. Performing last week in front of the Jacksonville crowd is on the level of anything that he's ever done in his career. Loud, you still got a chance. And he does still have it. He does still have it. Big shout out to my YouTube channel members. Much love. When you see the little emojis next to some people's names and they have like green, their color, those are my channel members. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page on the Titantron. Mock and clap. Scorpio on the mic. Big T, I'm with you on that. I think down the line we could very well see Sting versus Darby Allin. Over the years, you've had a lot of storylines with the teacher, the mentor, taking on the student. I mean, the one that's probably the most infamous is Bruno Sammartino and Larry Zbyszko. Sure, it's not going to be on that level, But yeah, no, absolutely. I am with you on that. Sting will give a rub to Darby Allin down the line. You will see. I mean, barring injury, obviously, because, you know, at that age, anything can happen at any time. But I think if he remains healthy, Sting versus Darby Allin, yeah, I see that. Absolutely see that. And I could even see it where Darby Allin refuses to take him on and Sting just forces him to face him like a man. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Scorpio Sky still talking trash to Sting. Got no reaction whatsoever. So we got a challenge. Ethan Page. Oh, we got a challenge here. So what's the challenge? Because we were talking about what ended up being the challenge by those two guys. Is it going to be a one? Okay, Britt Baker celebrations coming up next. Okay, very smart. We just finished saying it. You do not want to go off the air with the Britt Baker celebration. So, yeah. Like minds think alike. So what was the challenge that Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page just put up? I'd like to just tell it to my friends out there in audio-only land that may not tune into AEW Dynamite. Someone in the chat room, and like I said, there's always like a 5-second delay, which is beyond my control. Oh, and I got a little news for all of you out there. I'll tell you in a second. Just want to wait and see. Someone's going to post what the challenge is. A lot of you asked me when we started taking calls only 2 days ago. Just think about that. People have been asking me to do calls for the last like 12 years. It's been at least 10 years since I was taking calls. And people have been asking, you got to take back calls, got to do calls, let's do calls, take calls. And number one, I was always reluctant. Okay, Paige and Scorpio versus Darby and anyone else but Sting. Anyone else but Sting. Huh. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Wouldn't it be funny if Sting, like, goes under a mask? Benjamin, it's got to be close to 10 years of taking calls. Yeah, it's got to be, because I met my fiance in 2012, and Superstorm Sandy happened in 2012. The 9-year anniversary will be this fall, and I definitely was not taking calls at the time Superstorm Sandy hit. So it's over 10 years, at least. And the thing is, I was a little reluctant over the years because, number one, back then, it's not that we had the same people calling in, even though we did. Obviously, our audience was much smaller at the time, but you would have a lot of people who would just call in just to call in. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, calling in, hey, bro, love your show, and I love that, but I know for a lot of you out there, that will get tiresome very, very quickly to have a bunch of people calling and just say, man, love your show, love your show, love your show. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I soak it in and I don't take it for granted. We want to have some conversations come out of it. The second thing is, and I'm not trying to, blow smoke, it's not easy to run everything and then take calls at the same time. Now, luckily, because I'm a lot more experienced with mixers and programs and this and that and, putting it all together, I kind of can do it now. But I got to take a video one day to show you. I literally have a computer screen right here. When I look this way, this is the chat room right here. I'm looking at all of you right now. Then in my middle is my chat room for like Nelson Ray and everyone else that's on Facebook and Periscope. I see their comments there. Tony Schiavone's in the ring. We see lots of hamburgers. What's the deal with all these hamburgers? They're doing a celebration in the ring. Vicky's in the ring. Nyla Rose. That motherfucker Peter Avalon is in the ring. And they have a plate of somebody's obviously getting their face in that plate of hamburgers. Why a plate of hamburgers? I mean, is the MD in DMD stand for McDonald's? Dr. McDonald? Dr. McDonald, I'd like a cheeseburger, please. What the fuck is it those rebels probably going to go through the hamburgers? Chibata, 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 chibata. Why is there a plate of cheeseburgers in the ring? Even if that's a favorite food. Crowd is loving it. Crowd is loving it. Look, Britt Baker, no doubt about it, has worked her ass off and definitely deserves to be in the position she's in. She's thanking everybody for attending her championship celebration. Serpentico is in the ring. She got freebies. She never thought she could one-up Chris Jericho. She was gifted 1,500 burger coupons. Everybody has a hamburger coupon taped underneath their seat. Who the fuck cares about that? Back in the day, you'd open up a newspaper and there would be a free burger. And then, with $5 purchase. Oh, there's no coupons under the seat. Why is Britt Baker saying that she outworked everyone? That's fucking Christian's promo. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if they're trying to make her, go against the grain by cutting other people's catchphrases and doing other people's finishers while they're still wrestling like the curb stomp, it's going to fall flat, man. DMD. She's talking about Sunday. All she saw were the letters DMD. All she heard was DMD from the crowd. She says DMD's those are the letters that elevate the company to a whole new level. I still disagree that they debuted that new title last week. I thought that was stupid. She's inviting two people in the ring that she feels is worthy enough. Tony Schiavone, she's offering Tony Schiavone a burger. I don't think he'll refuse. Those look like McDonald's burgers, though. Yeah, those... Oh, Nyla Rose knocked the burgers out. Nyla Rose is throwing buns in the crowd and everybody is popping. She threw burgers and she's leaving the ring. She's grabbing balloons. How's about you punch the champion in the face? She's leaving with Vicky. That was a horrendous segment. No, those are Big Macs, Keith Doherty. Those look like Big Macs. Those look like Big Macs or double quarter pounders with cheese. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't. That was it? Eddie Kingston was about to cut a promo in the back. He's interrupted by Pac and Penta. Still no Alex Abrahantes. Take note, we've been talking about that since last week. No one else has. Remember, Eddie Kingston used to be aligned with them. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Not in my case. If you see me on Twitter, I always wrote that there's a saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. For me, the friend of my enemy is my enemy. Yeah, so Eddie Kingston, he made the save earlier. There was no Moxley, by the way. And now they're confronting Kingston like he did something wrong earlier. Yeah, they're talking about Andrade's debut, his appearance earlier. So what's the main event for tonight? We still got Red Velvet versus the Bunny. Miedo is going to cut a promo tonight. And Dustin Rhodes versus Nick Comoroto in a bullrope match. That's the main event tonight? I'm guessing here. I'm almost getting the urge to fart. I mean, nothing against Nick Comoroto or Dustin, but that segment was horrendous with Britt Baker. That was just horrendous. Okay, Matt Hardy Family Office. So the Bunny's coming out. Yeah, here we go. The Bunny versus Red Velvet. Nice to see the Blade. The Butcher, he had some health issues, if you're not aware of it. And he is nowhere to be found tonight. So the Butcher is still recovering a little bit. Don Tony Twitter killer. Lone Wolf, I'm going to reveal it, man. I think I'm going to respond to Twitter. For those that don't know, 5 years ago, I put an application in to be verified 5 years ago. Now, obviously, all my links and everything are outdated, but they never responded back. And Twitter stopped with the verification process for a very long time. They started it up about a week or so ago. And you know me, that, I can't stand how a lot of blue check marks, almost all of them operate on there, because they have a setting where they can ignore, they don't see any of your tweets. So when you have people that have 300, 400, 500,000, a million followers, and every day they're getting thousands and thousands of praise from their fans, when they're down in the dumps, all the fans are there sending them uplifting messages. They do good in the ring. They praise their work. When things are kind of shaky, they give, support. And most of those people never see what you write because they have a setting on Twitter that all they see are blue check marks. And I just find that so disrespectful that at least 90 to 95% of them do that. But people are telling me the last couple of days, once I made mention, they're like, dude, you should just do it because of, the work that I do and trying to this is kind of a business sort of. So about 5 days ago, I got an email from Twitter out of nowhere asking me to submit to them a front and back of my driver's license. And I thought it was a fake email because I was like, what do they need my license for? I looked into doing ads back in the day, but, I never pursued it. So then I looked a little bit further. The email said that I had requested before to be verified. And if I want to complete the process to send a couple of things. So I was like, holy shit, 5 years later, now suddenly you want to do it. So I told Mish and a few others, said, I don't think I'm going to even bother responding. But once I told that a couple of days ago, people are telling me you really should. So I may actually respond. So, yes, the Bunny just botched. She's fighting Red Velvet. The only way this match is going to look halfway decent if it's a video game match. The Bunny will hit all her moves, and Red Velvet will take it. And then Red Velvet will get the upper hand, and she will hit her moves, and she'll get the win. You will not see a counter, offense, counter, offense, counter. You're not going to see that. You see, right now it's all one-sided. It's all one-sided. Look, Bunny couldn't even throw her in the fucking ring. Oh, man, that just looks so bad. Look, this match is a train wreck. All right, she's going to run into the corner. All right, move. She didn't even hit her. How do you have a camera, and she knows the camera's there because she puts the face right in the camera after the move, and she doesn't even come close. Not good. Don't go to a commercial break. Please don't do that to your live fans. Don't give them 3 more minutes. Oh, come on. Match like that, it should not be long enough for a commercial break. Jesus, what the fuck is wrong with them? God. Yeah, Red Velvet, she attempted a dive and totally botched it. And I think, who was it? Crowbar and someone else was saying, like, trying to tell the wrestlers, stop attempting the suicide dives, the tope suicidas, and some of the other really risky moves. I mean, they may hit it like 8 times out of 10, but that 9th time, they don't hit it, and they escape serious injury, and then the 10th time, sometimes they get injured. So this, what you got right now is a video game. Bunny is doing all of the offense, and then Red Velvet will do a reversal, nail Bunny with something simple, and then it'll be one-sided. It'll, again, be one-sided. Bunny will hit it. Yeah, there you go. See, look, Bunny just nailed it. Exactly what I said. Now Bunny's like scoping over again, and we're right back to the same shit before. Bunny will eventually get extremely frustrated, and then Red Velvet will get the upper hand and beat her in about 30 seconds. You could see this a mile away. Yeah. It's a video game. The problem with the Bunny, nothing against her, they don't know how to counter each other. Red Velvet does a little bit better. Red Velvet actually can tell a story and counter other people's moves. Bunny can't. And you get, look, my God, when was the last time you saw that, everybody? They actually, the match is so bad. They had a split screen just now, and then they went to a full commercial screen. I honestly, maybe they've done that more than I think, but I don't normally see them say, we're going to go to picture-in-picture. They do picture-in-picture for the first commercial and then go full. That's pretty funny, man. Yeah, 1 fall. She's a former Knockouts champion. Yeah, and Chris says they do that every week. Okay, maybe they do. I don't notice the picture-in-picture for half of it and then go completely away. Like, I don't know what would be the purpose of that. So, Psycho, the Butcher, and the Blade grew on me. When they first debuted, I thought the gimmick was kind of ridiculous. But especially wearing S&M stuff, and, they're actually showing him, like, cutting meats and stuff like that. Like, I don't know any butchers that wear S&M outfits, cutting meat. Then they were wearing the good humor outfits, but they grew on me. I actually think they're pretty damn good. All right, so here we go. Red Velvet, there you go. Move. That's it. This match is over. Yeah, she's like, oh, just pin me already. Bunny is not selling pain. This match, I almost said Bad Bunny. Bunny will break the hold, nail her once or twice, and then Red Velvet will somehow squirm out of her way, and then she'll nail Bunny with a move, Velvet with a finisher, 1, 2, 3. You'll see. Oh, come on. The Blade didn't even hand... What was that? The Blade didn't even hand Nux to the Bunny yet. And they're already telling the referee, he handed her something and he didn't even hand her the Nux yet. That was horrible. Yes, 1 fall. Come on, man. That was horrible. Garbage. That's horrible. Everyone in the chat room, if you watch this replay, just look at the chat room alongside of this. Yeah, that was not very good. So how long have we still got? We still got 20 minutes left in Dynamite. So I don't know if we're going to take calls tonight. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll take a couple. But I got some news for all of you. Check this out. We're not taking calls yet. Maybe we will. I don't know. But I want to show you a little announcement. Remember this yesterday? That's the number where you could call in. A lot of you sent me emails and DMs the last 48 hours because it started taking calls on Wednesday. And the one thing that you asked me more than anything is about a toll-free number. Because I had no idea the 225 area code is Louisiana. Right now, they're in the locker room with the Dark Order. John Silver cannot wrestle yet. I think he's still out with the injury. Nice to see Brody Lee's son in the back. Evil Uno, I guess, is getting a match. I told you they turned into a fraternity. Here comes Miedo. Oh, Miedo shouts out his wife. Oh, so it's going to be Evil Uno versus Miedo this week? Miedo says this makes no sense. Evil Uno's coming from an emotional place, but maybe he's too emotionally involved. Miedo says, you don't come after me unless you know that you could survive. And he's going to teach a lesson to Evil Uno. Next Saturday, actually, no, June 26th, like I said, Jungle Boy versus Kenny Omega, June 26th, just as we said earlier. And they don't need to explain why they changed it. Now they're advertising Friday, June 11th, next week, 10 p.m. Eastern. Why not just tell this guy? Okay, so next Friday is Miedo versus Evil Uno. Obviously, we know the outcome of there. Next Friday, the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler versus Pac, Penta, and Eddie Kingston. Come on, man. Seriously, Brandon Cutler, who the fuck cares about that guy? Also next Friday, Hangman Page and 10 versus Brian Cage and Powerhouse Hobbs. I think the split with Brian Cage and Team Taz is next week. And coming up next, Nick Comoroto versus Dustin Rhodes Bullrope match. So I guess that's the main event. That's the main event. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying. So I launched the calls, and I did not know that 225 was Louisiana. And some of you out there are charged toll charges and asked me about a toll-free number. So I know some of my YouTube channel members are aware of this number already, but I spent about an hour today configuring it. So in the future, when we take calls, if you have a phone plan where you're not charged long distance, you could dial 225 Don Tony. But if you are calling from a different area where you could be charged toll charges and you want a toll-free number, there you go. I don't know if we're going to keep it permanently because VMVM was supposed to be voicemail, and it is set up for voicemail during certain hours. Like when I do the Q&A for the channel members, I open up the voicemail if anybody wants to leave a voicemail. But during the live broadcasts, the voicemail turns off and that number goes into effect. So the next time we take calls, you can actually dial that toll-free number and you could get through for the show. So either number works. So yes, everybody that asked me over the last 2 days, could you get a toll-free number for the show? You got it. 833-DON-VM-VM, which is 833-366-8686. Pretty easy to remember. 366-8686. 366-8686. There's a commercial break right now. Aaron is tuning in from Baton, Louisiana. Awesome. Pretty cool, man. So, look, again, I apologize if tonight's show seems to be the least organized. We're doing a live watch-along. SmackDown went off the air literally 30 seconds before I went live. So I'm trying to keep the conversation flowing, especially during some of these Shangada matches. I can't obviously stream clips from Dynamite, so I got to kind of recap some of the things that they're saying. And I got to keep it low enough that it doesn't bleed into the show. You can have the volume very, 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 very low, but if it's audible enough, you actually could get flagged for that. So Monday I'll be back here with Mish, and we'll have a few things to talk about, I'm pretty sure. There's some rumors going around about some additional releases. We do not mention the names. I think it's a little unfair. Did you all see what Keith Lee said? And now people are starting to realize this guy had some serious issues outside of wrestling, not anything to do with creative. Remember all those people that clickbaited you that he's off TV because of creative? And I talked about it, that he's got things going on, and it's disrespectful for me or anyone else to reveal anything that we've been told, because number one, if it's wrong, we're going to look absolutely pathetic, especially after Mia Yim said, please, this personal stuff is none of your business unless Keith wants to come public with it. Well, apparently Keith Lee wanted to go public with this, and it sounds like he wanted to do it related to Monday Night Raw, whether it's a segment or something or a video piece, and WWE shot it down. So Keith Lee is kind of teasing that he may possibly do a video chat, which I don't know how WWE would be receptive of that. I mean, and that's a really sticky situation, because if he reveals what we've been told, you can't penalize the guy for trying to let everyone be aware of some real life battles that he went through, because there's going to be other people that are battling the very same thing. And it's not that WWE wants to keep it silent, but it almost seems like they want to keep the real life issues to Drew McIntyre. Because Drew McIntyre today, I posted it, and I still can't believe that no one on the net even knows about it. Drew McIntyre did an interview today with some health rep, someone high up in the I think New York City Board of Health or something. And they had a great 20, 25-minute conversation about the virus, the vaccines, variants. He had the doctor answer a few things, to try to make some people feel at ease that the vaccine is safe. During that conversation today, Drew McIntyre revealed that tomorrow he's getting the COVID shot. It is now 90 days since Drew McIntyre had COVID-19. You're supposed to wait 90 days after being diagnosed with COVID before you go for a vaccine because of your antibodies that are built up. It's possibly unsafe to get the vaccine too quick after you get COVID. So tomorrow, he's getting his first shot. This rep went out of his way to thank Drew McIntyre for being so public about it. And Drew McIntyre admits that WWE allowed him to bring real life on the TV and let him talk about it. So, this was something that Drew McIntyre wanted and he got. But for Keith Lee, I'm not saying it's the same scenario, but you may not even be aware of this either. Drew McIntyre reveals how he got COVID. Anybody out there heard it? I mean, he doesn't know the precise moment, but he said he social distanced. He wore his mask all the time. He had his workout equipment at home. It was him and his wife, and they would order grocery delivery. He wasn't around people, yet he still got COVID. And his message was, he says point blank, I did everything right, and I still caught COVID. I think this is a pretty big deal, and nobody is talking about it. So hopefully we will hear something from Keith Lee soon, because I think that would help a lot of people. I think it would really help a lot of people. And I'm a little bit confused as to why WWE would not want that out there. I don't know. The Bullrope match is in progress. They got tossed into that special area that has friends and family of the wrestlers. That's why they seem to always the wrestlers fall on to them. It's really cool to see this many fans back. You know, masks are optional, obviously, but Daly's place is opened up, so obviously if they were indoors, it'd be a little bit different. Benjamin, how did Drew get it then? Like I told you, it could be something simple of, accepting a grocery delivery and somebody could have coughed, sneezed. It could have been just something ridiculous. COVID, it's so contagious. I mean, flu is contagious, but COVID is just on a whole different level. So who knows? But I don't think Drew McIntyre is one to really fib. If he says that he did everything right and still got it, that's very possible. I told you last week about my friend who has an aunt that's very, very heavy, that hasn't left her house in years and refused to leave her house, especially during COVID. And all she has ever done is walk into a hallway to get her mail and to pay for food delivery and grocery and Amazon. And she caught COVID. She never left her house. And the only thing that we think is maybe she went to go get her mail in the hallway. I know I said this once before. Maybe the postman sneezed, and it's lingering in the air. And, how many of you have been home and you hear the mailman, put the mail in your mailbox, and before the mailman could even leave your premises, you're already pulling the mail out. She might have just immediately went for the mail and got sick. That could very well be it. They're going to a commercial break. I mean, honestly, this match has been a little bit bland. I have nothing against Nick Comoroto. I love his look. The guy definitely has some talent. Kind of reminds me of cross of Billy Jack Haynes and Bruiser Brody or even Hercules Hernandez. But I don't know how many wrestling fans out there truly are interested to see Nick Comoroto versus Dustin Rhodes as a main event of Dynamite. Even if, it's a fun match. Look at last week's match selection. I mean, if you go back and you look at the quarter-hour breakdown, all right? I'm not going to read you the ratings again. I just want to remind you of the matches from last week. Darby Allin versus Cesar Bononi. None against Bononi, but I don't think many people have anything invested in that match. Adam Hangman Page versus Joey Janela. Jade Cargill versus Kylan King. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky versus Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Those are your matches last week. Not really tearing the roof down. Now, tonight, obviously, a little bit better. Pac, Penta versus the Young Bucks. But we knew the outcome. Now you see next week, the same guys again, but we're going to add Eddie Kingston to it, which is not a bad thing, but you add Brandon Cutler. Okay, so now Brandon Cutler will eat the pin. This is the repetitive format that they're doing. And they're trying to go through weeks. For the live fans, I think they're having a ball no matter what. But, I don't know how powerful these ratings are going to be off of this. Again, I don't understand why they just didn't put them on Wednesday night on TBS. It really makes no sense to me. You know what's so fly? I'll tell you what's interesting. Keith Lee, I don't know if he wants to be released. I really don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he requested his release. But imagine how bad WWE would look after the guy pretty much reveals Something is going on. He wants to tell everyone, so for awareness and to maybe help others. And WWE shoots it down because they don't want it on their TV screen. And then imagine releasing the guy shortly thereafter that. If he requests it, that's different. But if they let him go, that's going to look the coldest of the cold. I don't know what's going to happen. Why is Aaron Solo at ringside? This is just horrible. Aaron Solo he's like Green Hook, just with blue hair. And Aaron Solo's not that bad, but seriously, who the fuck cares to see this guy around ringside in the main event? Oh, that was pretty lame. Oh, yeah. They're getting tied up in the rope, and Nick Comoroto lifts his foot up so Dustin could then grab the strap and then bash him in the head with it. You know, little things like that, it's just sloppy. You know Dustin is going through that fucking table. There you go. Right through the table. Watch. 3, 2, 1. There you go. Bye-bye. So predictable, man. So predictable. That's not feeling it, man. I do find it funny that they got the friends and the family. What was that calling plan? The friends and the family plan? AEW has the friends and the family plan, like around the ringside area. Like the live fans now, they all are quite a ways back if you actually look at it. They didn't pay enough money to get up close and personal. They got the friends and family plan around ringside. Oh my God, Colton Gunn. I'm seriously gonna just nail one right now. This is giving me gas. We got Aaron Solo. We got Colton Gunn. What's the time? Oh, it's 11:58. Oh, this is over. This is over. That's it. Comoroto's got to get this win. Yeah, Comoroto bleeding. It's 11:58, everyone. This match is just about over. That's it. Get up. Get smashed with the cowbell. Come on. Here we go. Cowbell. That's it. Reversal. Whack. Juice. Done. Come on. You got to whale him. Comoroto's going to keep going down and keep getting up. Yeah, there you go. Another attempt to clothesline. Up. Now, third time is not going to be a charm for Dustin. Watch. Told you. Now Comoroto will miss. There you go. Now here goes Dustin with there's the cowbell. That's it. Now he's going to climb the rope. And then you're going to have probably Solo do something dumb or Comoroto. Here we go. Look. Here comes Solo. Hey, look, he's looking at him. Solo, don't forget. Solo's nowhere to be found. Dustin won. Wow. Pretty surprised. Who's going to come out and attack Dustin now? We can't go off the air with Dustin with his arms held high. I mean, it's nice, but this isn't like a retirement match. You know, we need controversy to end. Who's going to come out and attack Dustin? It's 11:59. Come on, who's going to come out? Maybe Andrade. Have Andrade come out. Whack him on his ass. Are you actually going to go off the air with Dustin? Wow, Tony Schiavone actually just said what I said. He's like, oh, Dustin's going to go off the air with his hand raised on the show. Wow, they're actually going to do that. Oh, he's going to the friends and family section. It's pretty cool. I like Dustin, man. But, wow, that was kind of I don't know, man. Why not just have the Young Bucks versus Pac and Penta main event? I mean, it's a nice little rub for Nick Comoroto. Maybe you do that on Rampage. I mean, you know, the match selection, I don't know. I don't know. Not too bad of an episode. I still think they have to get at least 700,000. They don't get 700,000. All the excuses for the playoffs last week go right out the window, in my opinion. So now it feels awfully quiet. It goes awfully quiet. So anyway, let me just get into a couple other tidbits from SmackDown tonight. You know, we have Roman Reigns open up the show. And again, other than that one part where he intentionally mistakes Jey Uso for Jimmy Uso again, I didn't like this episode. Half of the show, it just looks goofy. I mean, you got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso at the very end of the show just staring at Jimmy Uso as he's walking up the rampway. And, you know, like we live in an information age now where everything is seen, social media tweets, people that still believe the stuff what they see on TV is true. Jimmy Uso will be reminded 100,000 times before next Friday that you're being set up, Jimmy. You're being set up, Jimmy. You're being set up, Jimmy. Jimmy! And Roman Reigns is looking like Jay, like, you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do. What would have been grade school? Seriously. And then the worst part tonight, I didn't even talk about this earlier. Bianca Belair. I'm picturing it right now. She walks in the ring, shaking her hair. And she's talking about how when she was 3 feet tall, she was bullied. How she was told that she was called a man because she had muscles. And then she actually says, which is not her fault, you know this line was fed to her. Laughing at her is worse than bullying. No, she didn't say it like that, but she talked about being bullied all throughout her life. But then she says that Bayley laughing at her is worse. It's worse. That it just makes her like go to this place that you could bully Bianca Belair, but if you laugh at her, that's it. And she issues the challenge to Bayley for a rematch at Hell in a Cell. Bayley is on the Titantron. She's on, simulcast. She accepts. And then why wouldn't Bianca Belair be pissed off at WWE? Because if she's tormented by the laughing, she had about 700 Thunderdome LED screens, all picturing her laughing. It looked like one of those, what was that shampoo back in the day? What was that shampoo? Anybody, you're revealing your age if you remember this. What was that shampoo back in the day? Like, I don't know, like Pantene is so good. You'll tell this one, and this one will tell this one, and so on, and so on, and so on. And it'd be like 20 people on the screen. Remember that commercial? All we saw was hundreds of pictures of Bayley laughing at Bianca's face. Why didn't Bianca cry in the middle of the ring? It was so horrible. And you know what was horrible too? I love Pat McAfee's work. I love it. I love it. But WWE actually did this. They showed a recap when Shinsuke took the crown originally. Remember? Remember that? You watched the clip tonight. Pat McAfee is saying, how dare he take someone else's crown? That's royalty. He's taking his crown. You can't do that. And then they show the clip from last week where Pat McAfee is marking out that Shinsuke had the crown, that Rick Boogs got the crown. And he's talking about it. They actually had Pat McAfee say both opposite things. And then today, Pat McAfee is like, well, I know it's not right, but, little things like that, they really have to tighten up quickly, But my crown, yeah, my crown, my hole. But that Bianca stuff was some of the worst writing that I have seen in a long time. Excuse me. See, I'm losing my voice. In 25 years of doing this, I've probably coughed maybe 5 times in my lifetime. I felt like I was losing my voice this afternoon, and now I'm starting to get the tickling a little bit. But Bianca Belair talking about bullying and then setting it up that bullying is bad, but Bayley laughing in her face is something that she just can't deal with, that it's just driving her crazy. I mean, whoever came up with that, you know what's ridiculous about it? I know they have different producers for different segments and matches, but this is the same company that comes up with brilliant lines like Roman Reigns. Like I said earlier, talking to Jey Uso, calls him Jimmy. Jay says, I'm not Jimmy, I'm Jay. Oh, the way you're going tonight, does it matter? I mean, that's just top shelf writing there. And an hour earlier, I was bullied when I was 3 feet tall. I was bullied when I was just an embryo. I was bullied here, and I've been made fun of. I've been called a boy, but don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. And then WWE shows 800 LED screens of Bayley laughing. And by the way, why did Sasha Banks go on Twitter right before Bianca's segment and tweet, "Boss time"? Go look at her social media if you don't know what I'm talking about. Literally a minute before Bianca came out for a segment, Sasha Banks tweets, "Boss time," and she puts hashtag SmackDown and a little graphic of her. She's not on TV. The Bayley laughing was great today. Seriously. I mean, honestly, some of the people that are getting a little bit of karma over, time, slowly, but they're getting a little bit of karma online. Like I said, I won't rub it in their face because it's a very cruel thing to do. But trust me, when the camera is off, and I may accidentally forget to mute the microphone, somewhere DT is going, oh no, wrong one. That Bayley, that's trolling, man. That's trolling. So they're going to have a match at Hell in a Cell. I am still going to stick with what I said 3-4 weeks ago. Seth Rollins versus Cesaro will be inside the cell. I wasn't vaping. I was actually pretending like I was laughing at someone behind their back. Seth Rollins is interviewed by Kayla Braxton today. Kayla's bringing up, the stuff that he did to Cesaro. And then Kayla Braxton basically asked him, what's going to happen when Cesaro returns? And Seth Rollins, pissed off, takes the microphone off. He's looking at Kayla Braxton, throws it at her. Then he goes on social media. He's like, never again, these one-sided ambush interviews. I don't know why people can't stand Seth Rollins. I freaking am entertained so much by Seth Rollins. I'm entertained. And if you take notice, he ain't wrestling all that much. They're just knocking weeks off that he's on TV, but he gets under your skin. He's doing his job. And some of the stuff that he wears, man, I love it. I freaking love it. I don't know why people actually can't stand it. By the way, the beginning of the babyface turn for Otis once again, not right in the near future, but seeds are starting to be planted. You might remember a while back, and I think I even said this 2 weeks ago. I said, once we get back to live fans, Otis's babyface push will be reinstated. So basically what we had tonight, now I think Angelo Dawkins was legitimately under the weather. Not COVID, but was under the weather today, so he wasn't going to wrestle. What happened was Chad Gable approaches the Street Profits in the back and offers his services, and he's basically telling them, look what I did for Otis, I could do that for you, and this and that. And the Street Profits pretty much insult Chad Gable. They laugh at him. And Otis gets pissed off. Later on, the Street Profits are shown again, this time with Otis, and basically they're telling Otis, like, you know, you need to break away from Chad Gable. And Otis gets pissed off and he attacks the Street Profits. We finally get like a somewhat serious promo by the Street Profits. We'll get I guess, see a match next week. But I think the seed is going to start being planted now that Otis, people are going to keep telling Otis that Chad Gable is not helping you. And Otis will eventually, I think, turn back to babyface. By the way, did you all see that Instagram photo that MVP posted, him hanging out with the Street Profits? A lot of people, they're being teased tonight that the Street Profits could possibly join the Hurt Business. It's not happening, but it's a very cool photo. I didn't have a chance tonight to get a screenshot of it. Otis versus Roman, Mike, I don't know. I would have said that a year ago. I don't know. You know, they got to go a long way to get Otis not only back as a babyface, but a storyline where, because I mean, it would actually work. I could picture Roman Reigns looking at Otis as like, look at you. Tribal Chief doesn't fight people like you. Look at you. You belong in the, you know, wherever. You know, I could picture him making fun of Otis. And then the funny thing is you know, Otis with those looks will be like, I'll never forget when they did that storyline where Liv Morgan got, it was Mandy Rose got her haircut from, I think, was it Sonya Deville? And I think she was laid out in the corner in the back, and they had the cameras in the back. I think Miz and Morrison, they were laughing at her, and I think Otis was in the back also, and they're cracking jokes at Mandy Rose. And I remember bringing it up on the show, and all you do is you just focus on Otis during that segment. Otis looks like he's taking a shit. He's just looking at them, and he's like, and it was just horrendous, man. I mean, it was just bad. Very bad. Sam, what are my thoughts on Andrade tonight on AEW? What I said earlier, and I'll keep it very simple and to the point. I know people are going to tweet fuck on social media. Look, fans talking about it, I have no problem with. But the people out there that don't even watch AEW, that don't care about AEW, to me, have no business commenting about Andrade and AEW. You don't care about the show. You didn't care about him. But they want to be one of the first to talk about it. So when people search, their things pop up and they could be included in the conversation. You know, my thoughts on Andrade and AEW tonight is this. Andrade is an awesome talent. Obviously, it didn't work out in WWE. And if AEW is going to sign a very, very good talent, I don't know about heavyweight champion, but upper tier talent. What is better than Andrade? Andrade with a chip on his shoulder. This guy will amp it up an extra notch. Not that he wants to go back to WWE, even though, if you remember one of those interviews not too long ago after he left, he said one day he'd love to go back to WWE, be champion. I don't know about that. But I think the only thing better than Andrade in AEW is Andrade with a chip on his shoulder in AEW. So my only concern is the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Doesn't feel like any of them are losing their title in the near future. So how do these wrestlers all break through? Do they just fight for the TNT title? You know what I mean? You're going to keep doing six-man tags. I know the rumors about the trios title. We talked about it yesterday with some call-ins. But that doesn't help a lot of these guys. Tell me, what title does Andrade go for? Who does he feud with? You know? You have a lot of people in that company that really have no purpose. I mean, having matches and getting paid and having fun is all nice and dandy. But the whole idea of being a wrestler in a promotion, you know, we were brought up is to win belts, win championships, win, be at the top of the league. And a lot of these wrestlers, look at Lance Archer. Now Lance Archer, they have nothing for him. Nothing. What is he going to do? Next week, get involved in the Brian Cage, Powerhouse Hobbs match, like taming up. Like you could see a lot of these wrestlers, they may get a match here and there, and then it's no true direction, and then they just fade away. I mean, if you actually look at AEW's roster, I don't have it in front of me, but if you actually look at it closely, you'll see lots of people who be like, oh, shit, what happened to this person? What happened to this person? And, my God, how awful was that tonight? Britt Baker and hamburgers. And Nyla Rose just slaps the hamburgers away. Oh, my God, Insta-feud. Oh, my, don't you dare slap my hamburgers. So, Liv Morgan, now a solo wrestler with Ruby Riott on. She wrestles Carmella tonight. And, Liv Morgan could actually talk a little bit. But Carmella calling herself the most beautiful woman in WWE. Liv Morgan rates her a 7. They have a match. They let Liv Morgan show that she actually could do pretty decent as a singles star. But in the end, Carmella beats her and nails her with the code of silence. And then Greg Hamilton announces Carmella the winner, and Carmella's like, no. You announced me as the most beautiful woman in WWE as the winner. So Liv Morgan, I don't know where it goes from here. Even Carmella, it feels like there's no direction for Carmella either. What else do we get tonight? I'm going to get back to Roman Reigns and the Usos. Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We've had the same shit. What is it, the third week in a row now? That, again, Corbin beats Nakamura. Corbin gets his crown, not his mask, his crown, just to have it knocked away again. And Rick Boogs is involved. This is leading to a match between Rick Boogs and Baron Corbin. But this stuff is just getting old. This is the third week of the same shit. Apollo Cruz versus Kevin Owens. Excellent match. Apollo wins clean, sort of. Before the match started, when Kevin Owens was in the back, he was attacked by General Aziz. And that was done simply so Kevin Owens was not 100% in his match with Apollo Crews. So when Apollo Crews won, you could say, well, General Aziz is the one that actually started the downfall of Kevin Owens tonight. After the match is over, Sami Zayn shows up, and I've decided I will do the Sami dance when he gets a belt back. I have the shirt inside. When he wins a championship, then I'll don the shirt and I'll do the Sami dance. He attacks Kevin Owens, the feud that doesn't want to end. By the way, no Big E, because they didn't want to explain the Aleister Black stuff. So no Big E tonight. So just to finish up SmackDown quickly, this is basically to describe what went down with the Usos, the Mysterios, and Roman Reigns today. Roman Reigns opens up the show. Was originally upset about last week. Then he had time to think about his net. And he basically is telling the Usos, especially Jimmy Uso, you called your shot. Like Babe Ruth, you called your shot. Now bring it home. Bring it home. So the Usos cutting a promo, and they're all into it. Next thing you know, the Mysterio's music hits. And we're like, wait a minute. So the match is happening now? So now you realize, okay, bullshit finish. Because a match like that, especially if there's going to be controversy, you usually go off the air with that. Main events are usually hyped up for the 2 hours, or more for 3 hours. and then they go off the air with controversy. So they actually open up with the match. And the match was phenomenal. I mean, Dominik really shows how much he has grown as a wrestler in such a short amount of time. But there are moments where it does get very sloppy. And Neil Ray, shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you. I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you saw AEW or SmackDown tonight. Not bad shows, but I kind of liked AEW a little bit more because the SmackDown stuff with the Usos ate up half the show, and I don't know. I didn't like the way it went down, which we'll explain in a moment. And SoFly, what's up with the Street Profits getting punked by Otis, then cutting a calm promo, throwing a catchphrase, where is the anger? I'll tell you, I like that tonight. I liked that the Street Profits can be serious when serious is needed. I mean, the solo cups and everything like that is all good and everything, but, you want to feel heat and tension in a match. And you just don't want it to be like goofy and, promos and joking all the time. So them taking this serious, I liked it. Different side of the Street Profits we don't see enough of. And, we'll see how it turns out as far as next week with a match. But I liked it. I liked it, actually. It actually would have looked worse if the Street Profits would have laughed their ass off after Otis attacked him. Even if they did, regain their composure and cut a promo later on. So, Roman Reigns telling, Jimmy Uso, get it done. They have the match. Goes on for 20 minutes. Phenomenal match. Rey Mysterio reminded me of Jeff Hardy versus Ali from earlier this week. He just amped it up a notch, and it just flowed beautifully. I mean, the Usos and the Mysterios could actually turn into a really, really, really good feud. Not on the level of New Day Usos. Problem is, you have the storyline with Roman Reigns going on, and they ain't going to postpone that shit. We're getting closer and closer to July, and they have some twists and turns in the road they need to go before they take it to a different level with Roman Reigns. They got to get through this Uso storyline. That's why it feels rushed. But what ends up happening is you get the botch, bullshit, intentional screw-up by the referee. The referee doesn't see Jimmy Uso raise his arm. He counts to 3 anyway. The Usos, for some reason, are in the ring for like 5 extra minutes, and Roman Reigns is livid, and he tells, Paul Heyman, bring them to me. Bring them to me. They go to the back. Roman Reigns reads the riot act. Jimmy Uso complaining, I have my arm up, this and that. They go to Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. And this was just dumb. You look at all of the matches that have ended with bullshit finishes. They happen again the following week. So tonight, the Usos want a rematch. And, Adam Pearce is like, well, the decision is final. The referee's decision is final. And Sonya Deville's like, well, the referee did screw up. But then she says, we'll look at the footage and then we'll make a decision later on. And I'm like, nitwit. Not personally, character-wise. Nitwit, you just said that the referee screwed up, that you saw it. What do you need to see the footage for? To just, see a replay 15 times? I mean, so they're giving the impression that a rematch is going to happen tonight. And it's going to happen because this was the opening match. So Ray and Dominik, and if anybody that's ever had wrestling gear knows, when you walk out into cement parking lots and this and that, you usually put on your sneakers or your shoes or slippers. I've seen that too. But they still got their wrestling boots on, and before they leave, Adam Pearce is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. You have a rematch tonight after what happened with the referee. So we get a rematch. Fine. We go through the night. We already talked about the rest of SmackDown. We get to the main event. And once again, the Mysterios, the Usos, great match. Then we get a point where Dominik Mysterio is about to hit the 619. I think he actually nails it. He goes up for the frog splash. And if you look, like, Dominik is trying to, like, go as slow as he can because you know somebody is going to interfere. And for some reason, Roman Reigns hits the ring. DQ finish. The Mysterios win again by DQ. Roman Reigns starts beating the shit out of Dominik Mysterio. And then at the very end, Jimmy Uso's telling Roman, lay off. Look, he's out. And you don't talk to the tribal chief like that. But Roman drops Dominik, and Jimmy Uso leaves the ring, and you got Roman looking at Jay, and that looked like, you know what you have to do. You know what you need to do. And we go off the air like that. Half the show, to me, was wasted on crap. It was wasted. It was where are we now with this? I mean, I don't know. I did not like it. It just felt like an uber lazy edition of SmackDown. I mean, especially that you open up the show between the promo and the match. You're already about 40 minutes into the show. And then you realize we're over an hour in, and the only matches you had at that time was the opening match in Carmella and Liv Morgan. So, I don't know. I wasn't feeling SmackDown so much tonight. So, anyway, we talked about the ratings. We talked about AEW's upcoming shows. I got a couple of news tidbits that we will talk about on Monday. Should I take a couple of calls to wrap this up, or should we just call it a night? I will leave it up to all of you. Like I said, we're already 2 hours and 27 minutes in because 2 hours of it, we were doing a watch along. I mean, we were talking about other things in the during the show because it did have some big lulls. But, Charlie, as far as the ratings, we still don't know what NXT's rating was for this past Wednesday. I got into the quarter hours of the week before. The ratings now for NXT and AEW are pushed back several days because almost everybody depended on Showbuzz Daily. And the person that I always went to for ratings always told me that he got it from Nielsen. See, for people, I have a bunch of you saying call it a night. Yeah, we're calling it a night today. We did calls for 2 days. We'll bring it back Monday. In fact, what our plan Monday, Mish and I is going to do. That doesn't sound right. What Mish and I are going to do Monday is we're going to do an hour recap of Raw. If any other news breaks over the weekend, we'll cover that too. And then for the final 30 minutes of the show, we're going to take calls. So this way we'll get a 90-minute show done. We'll get 30 minutes worth of calls, which will be quite a few. And, we'll gradually bring that in. But like I said, remember the numbers. I might change one of them, but this is one number you could call when we do call-ins again. And I now have this toll-free number active too. For my channel members, I'll have the voicemail activated when we do some Q&As, and during the live shows, it automatically turns the voicemail off and it transfers over here. So you'll be able to call either number in the near future. But, I think we'll keep it on schedule, Benjamin. I mean, my God, 19 hours of programming this week. I think we covered everything. But getting back to the ratings thing, I don't want to get into a lot of it again, but I used to have a Nielsen account, and I never really needed it. I mean, back in the Monday Night Wars, I loved doing the ratings breakdown. But then when the Monday Night Wars was over, it really, and then when TNA, later Impact Wrestling, their ratings got so low that they stopped calling it 0.8, 0.6, 0.7, 1.1, 0.8. Remember Aces 0.8s? Then it turned into 400,000 viewers, 200,000 viewers, 280. Like, they don't want to say 0.2. So they did that, and it just wasn't fun anymore. But with NXT and with AEW, now a promotion, it's nice to see the trends of who is getting the viewers, who people are taking piss breaks with, who are changing AEW when they were head-to-head, who is changing AEW to go watch NXT and vice versa. And it was fun doing that. But then Showbuzz Daily, they screwed up their website. I don't need to get into that again, but everything I told you a month ago was right. And now you realize everybody and their mother who said they had connections with ratings were just copying it from Showbuzz Daily. And then when I started emailing the person I always dealt with that gave me my numbers, I didn't hear from him in a couple of days. I'm like, you all right, bro? Yeah. You got the numbers? He's like, no, not yet. And then I'm like, this motherfucker was using Showbuzz Daily too. So he wasn't using Nielsen. So now I'm trying to get my Nielsen account and reactivated. Nobody responds. So now I'm at the mercy of everyone else. And like I said, when Meltzer does that cute shit earlier, any of you subscribe to his newsletter, check out the newsletter he issued today, and look at what he said about Impact Wrestling's rating from last week. He told you everything but the rating. Everything but the rating. And they're intentionally ignoring the rating because they don't want to keep showing that Kenny Omega is drawing garbage numbers as the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. It's embarrassing to only have 140,000 viewers, 110,000 viewers, 93,000 viewers, 121,000 viewers, 137,000. What kind of numbers is that? This is Kenny Omega, Wrestler of the Year, maybe Wrestler of the Decade. How do you do that? So now they're intentionally avoiding some numbers. And the best. I'm sorry if anybody heard it earlier. It's worth mentioning one more time. AEW last week did 526. Obviously, some circumstances brought the number down. But instead of just leaving it that, AEW scored low. All right, it happens. Not a big deal. They rebound. No. Dave Meltzer says, and I quote, and I'm still supportive of his, will continue subscribing to his newsletter. That man did, when I did the Chris Candido stuff back in the day when he passed, I will always appreciate what Dave Meltzer did, even with the Conan drive. That man was the number one reporter out there that stepped up and tried to get the word out as much as possible to his subscribers about all the stuff that I was doing. All the other websites, with the exception of Bill Apter, all the other websites did this. Imagine that. Taking it personal and won't publish stuff because they don't want to see like credit coming my way. I didn't do it for credit. So anyway, with that said, I had to preface that because I'm not a Meltzer hater, but I laughed today. Instead of just leaving it alone that AEW scored 526, Dave Meltzer actually writes, and I quote, the total number that last Friday, the 28th of May, the total number of fans who saw at least 1 minute of AEW Dynamite was 1,021,000. This guy actually tried to give you a rating based on how many people tuned into TNT and watched for 1 minute. Just think about that. I give him a pass, but fans that do that shit, they are hurting AEW more than they can imagine. And I don't know if AEW realizes that or they just soak it in. Just give me praise, give me love. I don't care how gushy it is. Sometimes you got to give people the hard truth. That's why I even said with the Karrion Kross stuff. You know, I know we didn't talk too much about NXT on Wednesday. I had a great conversation with Mish on Patreon this past Tuesday about it. Karrion Kross, friend of the family. I hope to see him in Florida, later this year when I go. And I'm ecstatic that he's the NXT Heavyweight Champion. There's many reasons why I support that guy. But the one thing that I showed you 2 or 3 times in the past, that what he had said about yours truly is one of the things that he always loved was that I tell it like it is. Even if it was something that was negative. You told it like it is, whether people liked it or not. And he always respected that. Now, Karrion Kross was in the ring with Adam Cole this past Wednesday. And Adam Cole brutally, I don't want to use the term I want to use, but just destroyed Karrion Kross in a promo exchange. Now, I said repeatedly, Adam Cole has several more years head start to master his promos that he does. Adam Cole is one of the top when it comes to speaking. Karrion Kross has been around for a few years also. But Impact Wrestling and Lucha Underground, those 2 promotions especially Impact Wrestling, never took the time to get this guy mastered with promos. They never dedicated that kind of time. Ring of Honor dedicated that time for Adam Cole. And it led into NXT. So 2 totally different worlds there. So in a couple of years, Karrion Kross gets more time under his belt. Look at AJ Styles when he first came into WWE. Just go back and check out some of his promos early on when he was feuding with Cena, and go check it out now. It's like 2 different people. So I give it a pass Wednesday. But you got people out there that instead of just saying, look, guy got his ass handed to him in Mike. Guess what? Somebody like Karrion Kross, if somebody tells them that they didn't do as good as someone else, that guy will almost make it an obsession to amp it up a notch and spend 10 times the amount of time to fix that. You think Karrion Kross wants to go on social media and have people tell him, and you did a phenomenal job. Look at Adam Cole. His arms are as big as these chicken legs. And yeah, this is that. And no, you killed it. You think that helps Karrion Kross? It does nothing for the guy. We're human beings. We all make mistakes. We all are not perfect in everything that we do. We all swing and miss. And when you swing and miss, and what you want to do is you want to get better so you don't miss as many times before. You don't want to swing and miss and turn around and look at your friends and family and everybody's like, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. No, man. Fucking have the balls. Have the balls and speak up. People are so afraid to lose friends, followers, likes, hits. They got to gush over everything, and people hurt AEW so much with that stuff. AEW could do no wrong. But I am a huge AEW supporter, and I want to see them kick the shit out of wrestling. The better it is for them, the better it is for me. I enjoy it. I stood up till 6 o'clock in the morning Sunday night. I had such a ball with AEW and then hanging out with all of you after. It was not fun to go in the bedroom and hear birds chirping at my age. And maybe when I was 30, going to like a bar or something, getting home and sunrise, that's different. But, having a little bit of brutal honesty helps people, doesn't hurt them. And, you see it with AEW. But just random, I'll leave you with this. Alex Abrahantes. Remember what I said last week, because no one else is talking about that. Sooner or later, the AEW inner circle, as far as reporters go, somebody is going to have to explain that. And look, they may make an excuse. Oh, no, he was with family. Oh, he was here. No, I had nothing to do. I'm telling you, that little phrase, Dushita, Just take a step back and think about that for a minute. You're like, what does that mean, Dushita? Obviously, he did it before. You wanted to hear it again. Dushita. That's not, to me, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Lone Wolf. Shout out to Lone Wolf. Darren Gordon Hill, Austin Nance, Keith Doherty, Chris, King of Hueco Mundo, Benjamin, Ken Turrier by DQ, everybody else. I'm going to jet out of here. So I definitely want to give one last shout out. Crazy Cruiserweight, 12:25 a.m. He has been 25 for 25 in the minutes. I don't know what that means. It's 12:25. He has been 25 for 25. I think I know what he's talking about. I'm tired, everybody. Not Io Shirai tired. I'm going to take my ball and go home for 2 months. But I am going to jet out of here because I got to get this show online still. And tomorrow's going to be a little crazy day. Now, for my great channel members, I posted a link earlier for you to submit your questions or voicemail or both. And it looks like Monday afternoon, around maybe 3, 4 o'clock, I'm going to do the next Q&A. Obviously, the La Nostra Famiglia, they go first. You know, they're led in the club before everyone else. But my great channel members, I will cover everybody's questions. So you have until Monday around lunchtime to get them in. And for my friends who won the predictions contest for Double or Nothing, I will send you your prizes tomorrow morning. And I want to thank you all again. Have a great night. Cruiserweight turned 25 today. Oh, okay. That's right. That's right. He said it yesterday. Oh, now I get it. It's 12:25 a.m., which means he was 25 years old for 25 minutes. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. He did mention that yesterday. I totally forgot. Good for him. I'm very happy for you. I'm kind of jealous that you're that young, but good for you, man. Good for you. I hope you enjoy it this weekend, and all the best to you. So before I get out of here, I got to give one last shout out to my great VI patrons, VIPers, the VI patrons. They are still sticking with us. You know, if you haven't ever signed up as a Patreon, you know, basically you get ad-free episodes of all the shows I do during the week. Also, there's about 500 episodes of Patreon exclusive shows that have never aired publicly. There's about 150 Breakfast Soup episodes of Mish and I have done strictly for Patreon. There are other DTKC stuff that I have done in the past that was exclusive for Patreon. I put old episodes up there. Kevin Castle has his podcast that he does on there still that, you know, yes, I still have him on the page. I haven't booted him for people thinking that. I leave him for one reason and one reason only. So there's nice variety on the Patreon. There's a little bit of something for everyone. So for those out there that, believe it or not, may not like me, you know, they may be more inclined to check out that content. And look, we're letting Patreon ride, you know, as long as it's, you know, it's there. I mean, but I've made it clear that, you know, there will be a day that it will end. For me right now, that day is not coming anytime soon. But, you know, the day that I have to start doing plastic again and having to pay, you know, stuff out of pocket, that's when it'll probably shut down. Because trust me, I guarantee you, even though for 19 years, no, for 21 years, I laid out every penny of every expense for all the shows because I love doing it and I love doing it for all of you, and you were worth it. But if I turn around and I tell everybody who's involved on that page, look, we could still do the page, but there's just not enough money coming in for anybody to get anything. You tell me if anybody's going to do it for free. That's the lost art about podcasting more than anything else. I started in 1997. Jason Solomonster started, I think, in 2007. And a few others started around that time as well. And for years and years and years, every penny that was paid to run the show's server, website, storage, hosting, we paid out of our pockets. I've brought it up before. Mish and I guarantee you, Jason also, the three of us could have bought brand new BMWs with the amount of money that we put into the shows over the years. And it was for free, for the love of it. So problem is, when you get older and expenses go up, and the more people that tune in, the more expensive it gets. And then you realize, okay, I can't afford to lay out this kind of money every single month. I got to worry about my future, my family, get married, having expenses, this and that. So you obviously, you generate some revenue. Patreon advertising or super chats obviously are tremendous here. But the problem with a lot of shows out there, and you see it, they debut a show before they could even break their cherry. Before the hymen is even gone, you'll have in your face, send me money, Patreon, donate here, contribute there. And look, if people want to do that, absolutely. But people forget you do it for the love of what you're doing, and because the people tuning in, you're doing it for them. You don't want to do it to feel relevant. You want to do it to be relevant. And a lot of people out there, they think money first, everything else second. And a lot of people over the last 5 years that have come to me and asked me for advice, I'm always here for anybody that needs help. But one of the first questions that I'm always asked over and over and over again is, how can I make money? How much you make on YouTube? When I show them that the advertising revenue is like $3.11, people are like, you got to be fucking kidding me. No. But people out there, it's about the money and not the commitment. And a lot of people don't want to do that. Or, they need everyone else to do everything for them. So, but like I said, my co-hosts are not going to do it for free there. And when it becomes a point where the expenses to everything that I run outweigh anything that comes in, then it goes. I don't think that'll be anytime soon. But the one thing I promise you, I'm here. I've been here since 97. Unless something happens to me physically, emotionally, or if my fiance ever gives me an ultimatum, it's either me or the shows. I don't plan on leaving. I plan on having fun. And by the way, I'll leave you with this. A lot of you asked me, what happened to my results for my prostate stuff? I didn't get them yet. Supposed to get them on Monday. Trying not to think about it. Acer, my friend, thank you very much. Checking out like little alerts. This is what I watched on Dynamite tonight. So, but anyway, I thank you all for the support. Much appreciated. I can't thank you enough for sticking with me for this many years. And join me Monday. I'll be here with Mish. We'll talk Raw. We'll take some calls, and we'll have some more fun as well. So everyone, if you don't mind, I know I didn't do it even once tonight. Do I have it available? I don't even know if I have it available. I don't think I have it available. Yes, I don't have it available. If you enjoyed the show tonight, smash that like button. Give it a thumbs up. And the more you do that, the more that tells YouTube that you enjoyed the show. I know a lot of people, Friday night, midnight, they're watching AEW and have all their focus on them. They're not going to tune in here live. So if everybody who catches the replay, much love as always. And I'm going to jet out of here. So as it's become a sudden tradition, I will go off the air with this cute little outro that I'm very, very proud of. So thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Much love. Talk to you soon.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.